Hey guys, thought I'd show you this evening how I fix these check valves anyway. I'm sure there's more than one way to do it, but this is the way I go about it. First thing I do obviously is take them all apart, clean them up, and I polish the outsides before I even take them apart. I just polish everything on the outside, clean all the glue out of here if there is any, whatever. Then I start working on the internals and I clean this out, okay? And then I even go as far as cleaning this pocket out really good and many times polishing it if it's bad in there. Just so the spring doesn't hang up on the walls, okay? Get maybe more repeatability out of it. Then I move on to the important part. We can see it, there we go, maybe, okay. You can see the shiny spot in there right dead center where the ball sits, okay? And that is because this one's already cut, okay? I have to get in there and scrutinize this seat, the size of the land or the radius or whatever you want to call it, where the ball sits, okay? So I get in there and I look at that. Now you can't do that with your naked eye. So, and if Malk's watching this, he'll be able to relate to this, okay? I see you have constructed a new lightsaber. I'm going to zoom out. There you go. Look at that, huh? Okay. So I use my lightsaber. No. This is a Brunel hardness tester, actually. And it's like a little microscope, okay? There you go. It's used for testing the hardness of lead. And I use it. You just set it on something. You focus, and I can see what it is. And what I'm looking for, enough of that, right? So what I'm looking for is that land size, of course, where the ball's been beaten on it for 40 years. And I find these things in all different conditions. Some from good to where I can just maybe lap them, and some where guys have tried horrendous things. And I know I had a really nasty time. I was doing my check valves, and each time I did something, they got worse. Now, the reason they got worse was they would just kept leaking more and more and more, and I'm thinking, man, I got perfect laps on these things. And the reason is because this is what it looks like through my lightsaber, right? This area from here to here is where the sealing washer sits. The threads are out here. This is that little shiny spot, and there's your seat. And you can see here the seat, okay, where it's been worn. If this seat gets over about 3 thousandths, it's going to leak. Not necessarily grossly, but it will leach. And what I mean by that is, just same as our pumps. There's no O-rings in our pumps to seal them up from the standpoint of the piston, okay? So if you have, mechanically what you end up with is the brass piece, and then you get oil laying on the seat, and then you stick the ball on the seat, and if that land is so wide, okay, the oil will actually leach around the ball, okay, because it's sitting on the oil. It's not sitting on the brass anymore, it's sitting on the oil, because it won't shear it, and it's coming around. And what I was doing was making my lands bigger and bigger, but they were perfect. I was bluing them. They were perfectly seated, but they kept leaking worse and worse and worse until I did this. I got mad and I said, "To heck with this! I'm going to start all over." And that's what this is now. You're looking at that's this one here before. This is after. And what I found out was if I cut a razor edge on these, and it all makes sense. If I cut a razor edge on these babies, they seal again because the razor edge cuts through the oil, okay, and it no longer sits on the oil. The razor edge cuts it and the ball sits in the seat. Now this one ain't done. What I do then is, after I get this far, is I have a lapping tool and I will lap that in until I see it just cut. And that's usually about 1 or 2 thousandths wide that seat is. Then I stop because I know if I get too big, it's going to start leaking again. So anyway, I'm sure there's, different ways to do it and all, but that's just the way I do it. So there you are. Thanks.